come on, let's make the glory known on this one. Come on, say, this is my life. This is my life. This is my life. I have to make the glory known on this one. Let me share to you my point of view. And the reason why I minister is more than making music, more than writing songs, but I don't sing it right just to entertain you. Now as I reflect back to the Bible about the apostles and disciples and how they gave their life to preach this gospel, I compare them to me and put myself in their shoes and make a decree and let the whole world know that this is what I live for, this is what I would die for, this is why I go so hard, this is my life, this is my life. See, I don't do this as no part-time job. This is not no hobby or something that I feel like doing. This is my life. Yes, indeed, this is my life. There's no doubt about it, yep, this is my calling. Chosen and anointed to bring forth God's glory, to bring the kingdom down and His power unseen across the world, to every country and every nation. And it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Yes, I said it, I give my life for Christ's sake. I don't regret it, and I don't just talk about it, no, I be about it. Holding it down for the crown, showing people that this is what I live for, this is what I would die for, this is why I go so hard. This is my life, to preach this gospel, yeah. This is my life, yeah, this is what I live for. See, I don't do this as no part-time job, yeah. This is not no hobby or something that I feel like doing. This is my life, yes indeed, this is my life. Living this life is not easy, but through it all I remember who's standing right with me. In spite of all the pain and drama that grips me, I can stand tall cause greater is He that's within me. He lives within me, but saying these words is costly. Saying yes to Jesus is gonna cost me, but I'ma still take on my cross and keep on walking. Cause I understand this road that I'm walking goes beyond me. So salute to all my soldiers fighting in this war. Keep on keeping on till those trumpets call us home. I know life is a pain, it gets in your brain, making you feeling insane, wondering if everything that you're doing for Jesus is all in vain. But remember why you're doing it is, yeah. Remember why you said yes, oh yes. All of these afflictions, they all play their part. That's why we war with our scars. It's all glory to God, yeah. This is what I live for, this is what I'ma die for, this is why I go so hard. This is my life, to preach this gospel, yeah. This is my life, yeah, this is what I live for. See, I don't do this as no part-time job. This is not no hobby or something that I feel like doing. This is my life, yeah, this is what yes indeed, this is my life, yeah. This is my life, 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 this is my life. And I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Amen. This is my life. Dave James, and welcome to Healing Our Land's live interactive broadcast here on the Boston Praise Radio and TV Network. I'm your host, Pastor Hobbs, live here in the studio with my brother Eric Kennedy, who is, you can't see, but you'll hear him, and he will be behind the scenes managing the instant chat on our main webpage, www.bostonpraiseradio.tv. You can call us live on the air at 617-282-0685 or 617-282-7794. And I'm here with my friend and brother and special guest, Mike Rodriguez. Welcome, brother.
Well, thank you for having me.
It is my privilege and pleasure. I got to tell you, so Level Ground is a new facility that is in my neighborhood in Fields Corner, and I happened to pass by on several times, and I was so glad to see level ground mixed martial arts in my community and to see the young folks. And so I passed by a few times, and I actually was led to go in and to connect with the people there. And so I met a young lady there. What was her name? Michaela.
Yep.
And she was really kind and gracious. And then I met Mike. She referred me to him. And they're here to talk about level ground. So again, welcome, and tell us, brother, about level ground, level ground mixed martial arts.
So Level Ground MMA is a youth nonprofit MMA gym in Dorchester, and we offer all sorts of mixed martial arts activities such as Muay Thai, BJJ, kickboxing, boxing, and we also have obviously curriculum activities such as you come there, get your homework done, meet up with other kids as well. You get into some carpentry skills. You can get enrolled in a student trainer program. It's fantastic.
Student trainer program.
Mm-hmm.
So this is training students to actually be trainers.
Yes, to be trainers as well as to develop those workforce development skills.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that they're able to go into the real world and
have these transferable skills that they can use real in life.
Absolutely.
So how long has the organization been in existence?
It's been here for 10 years now.
Okay.
Yep.
And this specific location here, what's the address?
1490 Dorchester Ave.
Okay. And how long has that specific location been open?
Now, we've been in that location only since July. Yeah.
Okay.
Since July.
Beautiful. And your capacity there is?
We are. You say what?
You're like your title and your job responsibilities.
Oh, me. So I'm the athletic director, as well as the community outreach manager.
Okay.
So what my goal is to make sure all the classes are rolling good. We got all instructors in all the classes. Make sure every class is being covered. Everybody's having a good time. Everyone's safe. On top of that, outside of it, my job is to do things like this, spread the word to everybody else to get more people involved in it, because this is a great opportunity.
It sounds like an incredible opportunity. We have a sensei here at Global Ministries Christian Church, which is the parent body of this multimedia platform, Boston Praise Radio, ONTV Network. That's on literally 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year, 39 different platforms. Terrestrial radio, we've got literally people who are incarcerated who are limited to just terrestrial radio. They don't have access to technology like you and I have on outside of being incarcerated.
Right.
And there's people literally who we are able to who tune into this platform, and this is like their lifeline. People who have been at Nashua, South Bay, because it's low power, so it's terrestrial locally here, but so they're able to get information, inspiration. A lot of political leaders come through when they're campaigning, and not only when they're campaigning, once they are elected, we hold them accountable. Come back, you said you was going to do. We got it on tape, and we're able to hold them accountable. So it's an incredible vision that our pastor, Pastor Bruce Wall, a 74-year young man who God has given incredible vision, former clerk magistrate, I think the first clerk magistrate of color, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me that, but he was a youth pastor at 12th Baptist Church here in Boston, a very historic church. Martin Luther King Jr. Went there. Reverend Michael Haynes, a legend who has transitioned. But so Sensei Scott, I believe, started doing his karate there. And Brother Eric is here. And so, again, he's going to help me to do this interview because he's much more experienced. One, with Boston. Two, with actually mixed martial arts himself. So but before I go to him, I want to go to you and just share, who are you? Some of your stories, some of your journey up into your position now.
All right. So born and raised in Boston, Mass. Spent most of my life in Dorchester, right there on Noel Street, right off Washington. And I went to school at Tech Boston Academy.
Wow.
Right there. Yeah. And I always been kind of like the like the outcast kid. I never played basketball. Don't play basketball, any sports.
Even without that height, no.
Nah. And I wasn't like a hood. Like, I was into skateboarding. I like post-hardcore music, things like that. So I was very like different growing up. Yeah. And so I was always getting into scuffles because of that, because people always be like, oh yeah, I'm going to try to challenge him. Mm-hmm. And so, so that was like my childhood growing up. Mm-hmm. But when I was in high school, mm-hmm. about my 16, 17 years old, I got into a fight in school. Mm-hmm. Knocked a kid out in the middle of the cafeteria, and my teacher grabbed me and was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, he's like, we need to channel this anger somewhere, that energy, And so I got suspended, went to the Barron Center, spent time there.
To the where?
To the Barron Center. I don't know if it's still around.
I don't even know what that is.
The Barron Center, it was a school like, if you get suspended or anything, okay. they'll take you there. It was in Hyde Park. I don't know if it's still there. And it just was like where a bunch of troubled kids were. If they got suspended for extreme things, they go there, spend this suspension there. And I would just go there, but he gave me all these DVDs of organization at the time called Pride Fighting Championship. Mm-hmm. So I was like, what is this? He was like, hey man, like just watch it. It's MMA. You'll like it. And I was like, I didn't get what MMA was until I popped the DVDs into my PS2, started to see what it was, and I fell in love with it since then. I was like, this is amazing. How do I be part of this? Mm-hmm. And so he took me to my first gym, which was a gym in Columbia Road, where the old LG we used to be at. It was called Boston Muay Thai Academy. Mm-hmm. And I started training there. Mm-hmm. Once I started training there, I fell in love with it, and I'm like, I need to keep this going. So me as 16, 17-year-old kid, I already knew what I wanted to do. I already knew where I wanted to go. So I just molded my life for that goal. Mm-hmm. So I would work at the Burger King right there, Columbia Road. Yeah. I would work there, take my little paycheck, walk down to the gym, go train, get a membership, and train. And that was how it all started from there. Wow. Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
You worked out at a gym in Dorchester. Which gym was that? Was that a boxing gym or is it? What?
Yeah, it was boxing and Muay Thai.
Okay.
So when you came up the stairs, one side was Muay Thai, one side was boxing. I don't know if you know the late Papa Ray, boxing coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had one side of the gym, and then the Boston Muay Thai guys had the other side.
When I was younger, I got sent to the Greeless Boxing Club, which is on the.
Yeah. My brother went there. Yeah. And I would always go to that gym because I liked boxing, but I thought boxing was boring. I couldn't stand just to punch it. I'm like, no, we got all of these limbs on our body. Like, let's use them all. So that's why I got into Muay Thai.
Wow. So I saw the UFC.
Yeah.
No, how did that? Because, and again, forgive my ignorance, but so you're talking about mixed martial arts, and you're saying you were training, but how did that morph into UFC?
So I was at Boston Muay Thai for about a couple years, and then I decided that I needed MMA, not just Muay Thai. So MMA it's essentially its own sport it is its own sport compared to Muay Thai. Muay Thai is just involved with just stand up and 8 limbs. That's it. So I was like, okay, I need to get the ground. I need to get the wrestling and all of that. So I started to go to a gym in Quincy called Best Way. And I started training at Best Way, and that's when the mixed martial arts ball started rolling, because I was training with those guys, and that was an MMA gym. Mm-hmm. So they was teaching me MMA things, how to wrestle, how to grapple. All those. I already knew the stand-up component, but just how to grapple and wrestle and everything. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I went to Joe Lozon's, which is way out at the time it was in Bridgewater. And so I would train at Joe Lozon's gym, and they made me go from here to there. Being with those guys is how I got into the UFC.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was your experience? Because it looks as though you've done really well there in terms of competition in the UFC.
My experience, it was amazing. I loved it. I loved every single moment of it. Wow. What I could not deal with was the pressure. And when I first got into UFC, I was just me. You know what I mean? I had my girl, and that was just me. You know, but then we had kids. You know, then when kids come in, and like everything changes because now you're doing things for 3 other people. It's not just for you. You know what I'm saying? So, and that pressure was getting bigger than me. A lot of times it was bigger than me. It was really hard for me to keep that pressure on because I had to make a lot of sacrifices where I couldn't be there for the kids. You know, I had to be like, all right, well, the kids got to get babysat because I got to go train. So just making all of those sacrifices, that's what definitely was the biggest struggle for me.
And so how did you, so was that what moved you? So are you no longer connected with the UFC?
No. So my contract ended and they just split ways with us.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Okay.
But it was tough though because it was like everything I worked for.
Yeah.
You know, from 17 years old all the way till 30. Sorry about that. 33. I was directly mind focused onto it. Yeah.
So the shift where and it was because and so now where you are now and still, you know, with the children and with all that pressure that you talked about, that with that being alleviated and you doing this in the capacity of as the community outreach person and so forth, is that where you feel like that's where you should be and you're satisfied with this stage of what you're doing in terms of, you know, your focus? Where you do you feel any regrets with regard to leaving that and being where you are right now?
That's a good question. Yeah, this is my coffee beef every morning. Every time I wake up and I get my coffee, it's like, do I want to just go to the gym and go hard and get after it again? Because, you know, I'm a competitor, an athlete at heart by nature. And no matter how old I get, no matter what happens, I always think I can still get up and rock with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? But I also got to be realistic. And I do feel that way, but I can't. It's not something that I can do right now. It's just that the love ain't there for it. Like, you know what I mean? To get up and go do that and do all of that. It's just the love ain't there. I find it more satisfying going to the class and teaching the kids on how to do this, how to do that. Like their faces lighten up. Feels way better than getting my hand raised. You know, so that feels a lot better.
It sounds, what I hear you saying, and help me if I'm off, but it sounds as though you were saying that your satisfaction, the pride and so forth as a competitor and so forth, that was really more focused on you and your, you know, you won but this is about giving back. This is greater than even just, you know, your family and you, but to all these folks who you're having influence and being able to channel their energy as yours was channeled. Right. And that's satisfying.
Yeah, it's very satisfying. And especially being in the sport, you know, and I'm like, all right, I've been in the game for a while. I know the game. I understand the game. Like, I want to help other kids not make the same mistakes, you know. And also, not only that, it gave me, I have the physical ability to do X, Y, Z, but it also helped me with the mental. It also helped me develop, like, a lot of other skills, such as, like, being confident, being able to come in this room, have a conversation with you guys, talk to you about this and be totally fine, like, you know, like nothing. It's like martial arts gave me a lot of those things. You know,
interpersonal skills.
Right. So I want to give it back to those other kids, because you see it in other kids. You're like, damn, like if he knew he could do so much better than what he think he can do, you know, this, that, and the third. So I just I love helping people do that. I do. And
now this is for the program is primarily, you mentioned a lot about youth and the young folks. So the folks who can come to receive these, all the things that you talked about in terms of the complementary kinds of classes, being, you know, the trainer, and what we said, carpentry. So those things, what ages are people eligible to participate in those things?
So the kids that participate in those, they're usually from range from like 15 to 17.
Okay.
In that range.
Okay.
Are the kids that are always doing those things. But the gym is available and free to kids from 19 and under.
19 and under.
19 and under, yeah.
What's the youngest?
The youngest? Well, I mean,
I'm just curious.
No, you're right. So I would say, in the kids class is from 7 to 12. So I would say 7 is the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's good.
So, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
So, most MM fighters, or boxers have those challenging nicknames, right?
Yeah.
How did yours come about?
So my nickname's Slow Mike Rodriguez. The reason why it came about, so when I first got to Lozon's, I've only hit Muay Thai pads. And Muay Thai pads, they're like these big pads that go on your forearm, and you're like it just takes so much movement to hit the strikes. But also it's like in Muay Thai, everything's like from the hip. They always want you to punch from the hip, pump. So everything's like very powerful. Boxing is the opposite. It's lighter. Everything's like light, quick, fast, So when I started hitting mitts with my boxing coach, Steve Mays, he he's like, "Come on, hit," and he's like, "Man, yeah, you slow, dude." He's like, "You like molasses slow." So the name went from Big Mike to Slow Mike, and then everybody was just calling me Slow around the gym, and it just stuck. It stuck.
But so he didn't mean it in a positive way.
No, at the time. But as time went on, then everybody was like, okay, when I was getting 7-second knockouts, then they're like, all right, is he that slow?
Right.
Awesome. So I also wanted to ask you how, you got the pressures of, just being in the UFC and the MMA, and then you have the added pressure of something else that you did was be a part of the reality TV.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good. So, I liked it a lot. So the Contender Series, the way it works, so you come in and it's only one fight you have. It's not like so the Ultimate Fighter is a little different. Ultimate Fighter, you're staying there, the camera's in your face, you're hanging out with other guys, there's a lot of like that reality TV drama, stuff like that. And Contender Series ain't none of that. You go, you fight, that's it. And you have to be the best of the best at that given time, because it's not only that you're fighting the guy across from you, but you're out competing all the other guys that's on the card for a contract. It's only select few people get a contract, so you gotta come in there with some gusto. And I loved it. I loved the fact that you could go in, bang it out, and then that was it. A lot of my other friends were on the Ultimate Fighter, and they're like, "Oh man, there was so much drama. It was this, it was that." And I'm like, "Man, I ain't really with it all of that. I like just going in, fighting, getting out, call it a day, And that it was a sick experience. It was dope. Yeah.
Wow.
So guys like when I was in martial arts and guys like you, what is it that keeps you grounded?
Just knowing. It's funny. A student had asked me that a couple of days ago, and what I told him, I'm like, just knowing that I can beat everybody up in the room. That alone keeps you grounded. No, it's just that, once you become so comfortable with your tools and the things that you're able to do, and things that you don't need to show off in front of nobody. You don't need to act like you're big than what you know what you can do. So that right there alone is totally fine, because I feel like people who are not grounded, who's always like trying to showboat and stuff like that, it's because they're not confident with themselves. They're not secure with themselves. Versus that, it just makes me always feel like I did it all. I did so many other things in my life, so I'm good. Yeah.
And are you spiritually grounded?
Spiritually grounded?
Yeah.
Spiritually, I'm like in the air, I guess you can say, kind of deal. Yeah, I don't know. I never really been a spiritual person per se. Yeah.
And how, with that said, it's interesting because when you say you're not spiritually grounded, when you say spiritually, you mean religious, or do you mean spiritual, or do you mean both?
I would say both.
Okay.
Both, yeah. It's all good.
I thought it was on vibrate, but so with the young people who are there, how do you? Is that something that in terms, because it's one thing is you talk about, how do you keep them? So for you, you're saying one of the things that keeps you grounded is the fact that you could be able to beat anybody in the room.
Yeah.
That so that's your confidence in your ability to physically defend and protect and/or yourself and I guess others. And so that's so for other folks whom might use that confidence to, if they're to be bullies or to you know what I'm saying, how do you all deal with helping young folks as you talk about channeling energy and so forth? You talked about how you were picked on or the ostracized one, and that was the impetus that ultimately, and interesting, you said when you actually did finally have that fight, you obviously knocked the person out. So you weren't trained, you weren't whatever. No. Nobody taught you how to box. Nobody taught you anything. That was just raw instinct.
Yeah.
So for how would you say to a young person whom we live in a society that's really about I'm big or I'm bad, you ain't gonna disrespect me, and we got people who are packing. A lot of young folks are packing because they feel as though a sense of confidence in their prowess because I can handle this with this gun.
Right.
So how does you and or with young folks who are particularly coming in, particularly in the city where violence is something that we see that is just pervasive.
Right.
And everybody wants to be bigger and badder and harder and meaner than the next one. So how do you balance that with these young folks, with them actually, for instance here, Sensei Scott teaches karate, but he does it under the guise of being people of character and of integrity, and you use this as a last resort to defend yourself, but not ever to show off or to kind of initiate violence.
So I'm glad you asked the question. So what I normally do, so I teach fifth graders at the Everett Elementary School, and the one thing I'm always saying to them is that, like, we're not bullies just because we have these tools and we use these things. And that's another thing. I don't like to try to be cautious with my words by not saying techniques or you know how to beat people up, whatever. I call them tools because they are tools. It's not something you can just use willy-nilly because that'll make you a bully. So they're tools. You use them for when they are needed to be used. We're not going to go out there and be bullies, but we're also not going to be punks either. Because, like you said, this world is crazy. Things fall in your lap, So I always try to explain to them, they're tools. It's not something to use to hurt others. They are to defend yourself and they are to build yourself. But I always make sure that prime line, that coaching, listen, no, these are tools for you. They're not to be hurt other people or any of that nature. And so far, it's been going pretty good. Wow. I'm still new at this, so give me some. Listen,
no. Go ahead. I see you. Okay, so now that's with regard to youth.
Yeah.
And but now we talked offline, and for old people like me, 58, who quite candidly, has had health challenges, and I'll put some of them out there just because I'm curious, and maybe people like me who could benefit from this place.
Right.
So, and let me just give you a quick little backdrop. So my dad is a bishop. He's been a pastor all my life, brought up and raised and steeped in the church. And so we were really God-fearing, right? And I'm so appreciative of that. But with that said, that's also something that is, you are it's counterculture. When you're kind and you're taught to, not be a person. In fact, we were taught not to fight. You don't put your hands on nobody is what we were taught. Basically, you go to authority person. I mean, all the things that would make you seem weak today.
Right.
This is how I was socialized. But I have to tell you, it prevented me really from being in a lot of fights because whatever, say what you want to say. As long as you're not putting your hands on me, I can walk away.
Absolutely.
Talk, do all that, whatever. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to walk away.
Right.
And so that's helped me. With that said, as an adult, I always wanted to take karate. I always had an interest in karate because I was teased and I was picked on and so forth. And I just wanted to have those tools in the event you did cross that line.
Right.
And I was discouraged from doing that because I was told that basically that karate, I was told it was of the devil, right? And again, this is of the old school where you don't, everything's of the devil that you don't understand.
Right.
You don't have no knowledge of, but it's just of the devil because we just want to keep you here.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it wasn't until I came here as a grown man and I met Sensei Scott, that was a Christian sensei and embraced all the things that we were taught, but also teaches that you're taught to protect yourself and your wife and your family. Like that's righteous, that's godly. There's a time and a place for everything, and there's a time you need to defend yourself.
Absolutely.
And you need to know how to do that.
Right.
It's not, so I appreciate it. And so I started taking some classes with the sensei. However, it's been a little challenging because COVID happened.
Right.
And when COVID happened, everything went virtual, and it's really difficult to learn something looking at a screen. You're opposite.
Yeah.
I'm in a room by myself. I'm trying to, do this. Looking, is it this way? Is it that way? It's like it's very challenging. And not to mention the fact that I'm doing it with someone else who also is new. Right. And they're trying to teach me and not really solid in what they understand. And so trying to navigate all of that, Eric will tell you because he was here, was very challenging. And so I had a desire because I liked some of the stuff that I learned. And even this particular brother, I have to tell you, he does what they call it, busing, like when you're a musician on the street and you
busking. Yeah.
Busking.
Yeah.
Busking.
That's what that's called?
Yeah, right.
Today I learned. I didn't know that.
I learned it too. I was like, so when people who are on the street, musicians, and you get the money for it. So that's what he does. And people are mean. He's a European brother in the hood, and so really right at my station, someone his kids was whatever, and it's what he learned in karate that was able to. It wasn't karate, but what is it called?
It is karate.
It is karate. It's a form of karate.
Yeah.
Okay. But the specific one is called
Okinawa Gochu-Ryu karate.
So he was able to defend himself and fortunately get away from that situation and because of what he learned.
Right.
So when I saw you guys, I was like, oh wow, maybe this is a space. It's right in my neighborhood that I can be able to go. But I have really I have neuropathy like in my feet. Right. So like balance and so forth. And I mean, a lot of things. And I'm 58 years young. And, so I don't say old, I say young. Cause
you're still young. You still got it. You still got it.
So for me, somebody like myself who may have some different health challenges could still be able to come to this place and learn mixed martial arts based on wherever their situation is. And you have the gym for people like myself as well.
Yep.
Talk about that.
So we have a gentleman, Owen. He's the man. He's 65 years old.
Okay.
He comes in. He works with the best of them.
Yeah.
Yep. We had another gentleman. He I don't know. He used to come every day.
Every day.
He was 70.
Whoa.
Yeah. There's people that come in and granted, those two guys, they both always say, where the older guys at? They always ask, where the older guys at? But we have people from all walks of life that come into that gym.
Beautiful.
It's all about the individual. If they have the will to do it, we got the will to teach you.
Okay.
We got the will to put you up, like put you together.
Okay.
We only can work as hard as you'll work.
Okay.
So if you come in, if you want to work, that goes for anybody, all you guys. Okay. Anybody that want to come in, we will help you guys.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So for the youth, it is free.
Free.
And what
no free.
It's free. It's not free. Okay. So it's free. Absolutely unequivocally.
Come on through.
All of that for what ages up to?
So from like you said, from like under 19 to 7. 7 is the cutoff. Yeah.
Okay. So 7 to 19. Over 19, what is the cost?
30.
So, yep. If you are living in the Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan area, it's only $30.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's $30 a month, and that will afford you to be.
And that means you come to all the classes, and you can use the turf as well. What the turf is, you lifting and all of that. What, like free weights. Whenever you become a member, if you're like, you know what, I don't want to do kickboxing today. I just want to get a quick lift in before work. Come on in.
And the hours that would be open.
The turf is available from open to close.
Which hours are?
From 4 to 9.
4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Yep.
Okay.
You come in any given time, like, let me get a quick lift in. You're totally fine.
Monday through Saturday?
Monday through Friday. Saturday is our competition class, which is invite only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So this is a very unique concept. You don't hear of anything like this anywhere else. Your founder and executive director, Alexandria, have you talked to her about the mission, or what for a woman to come up with something like this? Like how did that come about?
So, that woman is amazing. She's so sick. So she came up with the idea because she's a jiu-jitsu brown belt, and she worked with kids before. She worked at other programs with kids, and she just wanted to develop some sort of martial arts nonprofit program that can give to kids. Because I'll be real, MMA is expensive.
It is. Yeah,
it's very expensive. So in terms of the gear, in terms of trying to get the technique, it's expensive. So the way she works, she just managed to able to get it done to make it as a nonprofit to give back to these kids, which is, I think it's amazing. That's what made me come on board. Is because I saw that, and that's what attracted me. Because I was one of those kids. Like I bust my behind to get to where I'm at. You know what I mean? I put in so much hours trying to pay for gear or gym memberships or whatever. So the fact that we can give back to kids at a fraction of the cost, sign me up. I'm with it.
And are there other locations?
No, it's only one.
Okay.
We're only one. Honestly, if I'm not mistaken, I think Level Ground is the only of its kind in the country.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't think there's no other program like that.
Wow.
Which is fascinating because mixed martial arts is one of the fastest growing sports on the planet right now. So it's like, if you could give that away for free.
Yeah.
Man.
And so when you say mixed martial arts, so I'm curious. So again, someone like myself, a total novice for all intent purposes, really, right? Not athletically inclined, like for real. Like I ran, I was in the military and I went through basic training, and it was a challenge. But I did it. I got through it by the grace of God. Well, you only got one way through basic training, and that's through it. You don't quit and say, "Oh, nah, I changed my mind. I'm not doing it." No, you got to recycle, but you're going to pass basic training. Once you sign, you are going to sign. But it's interesting because I'll tell you, in total transparency, I love being in the military. I love the camaraderie. I love the discipline.
Right.
And I wanted to retire after 20 years. Like I wanted to do this full time, do 20 years, retire early. However, I contracted HIV while I was in the military, or the time that I was serving. And unfortunately, at that time, over like 20 some odd years ago, HIV was a death sentence. It was not a chronic manageable disease that you can take medication and it's non-detectable. You're not infectious. They've grown to that piece now.
Right.
So when I got it, I was literally told that I damaged their government property, being myself. Hence, you're discharged immediately. Your benefits are cut off immediately. I was married at the time, GI Bill, and had all these benefits. Soldier the cycle, was a medic, and that literally was like, have a great life, see you later. All the benefits were just cut off. It was a horrible situation. But
I'm sorry.
And yeah, by the grace of God, it pushed me deeper into my relationship with God. My spirituality went to another level because I needed that to be able to deal with that. And so I said that to say that the HIV diagnosis progressed to an AIDS diagnosis. I've been down to 3 T cells, brother. I've had opportunistic infections. I mean, it's a miracle that I'm, 1, here, and 2, that I am as healthy as I am. So with that said, and I've taken some karate here with Sensei Scott. So for a person like me, again, I would be able to come, and the mixed martial arts,
right,
they would be able to create a program tailored to me.
Absolutely. We still will be able to work with you.
Wow.
Yeah, we still be able to work with you. Even if it's like, doing regular kickboxing.
Yeah.
You could do a kickbox class. You could get in, interact with whoever, nobody would ever even know. Like, you just get in there, because we're not going to the contact where you're going to be sparring and you're going to be punching someone in the face, someone going to punch. It's none of that.
Right.
But like, just pop, 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 hitting their gloves or hitting their mitts, just getting that nice sweat, that building that, getting that body going, getting heated up and everything like that. All of those things, like, you're going to get those things, you know. We're not going to be like, yeah, you got to fight for the wolves. Like, no, we're going to get you to get right today. Like, no. It's not that.
That's encouraging. No, it really is encouraging. And I got to tell you, my part of my challenge has been I've been a member at the Y, right? And done some lifting and some different stuff, and I'm paying for a membership,
right?
Monthly membership, and it could be 2-3 years before I had to cancel my membership because they were taking out my monthly, my monthly fee every month.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get there, and I couldn't get there because of the hours. As a person who is a pastor in ministry and doing a lot of stuff, the hours were my challenge. I really, really, really needed the gym, and I still optimally really need a place that's open like 24 hours. And I know that's it's not something that I don't believe that we have in the inner city. I'd love to be able to see something like that.
Like a 24-hour fitness or something like that? Yeah, no, there's nothing in here. Like, nah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think even for young people, quite candidly, to have a place that they can go, to have community, literally, sometimes it's out of sheer boredom.
Yeah,
that people get caught up in doing stuff.
Absolutely.
So they have a place, and I know other places in DC and places where they've had violence, or they've had the gym open where you can come play basketball, you can come lift weights, you can come do stuff in community that was a safe place for you to come and exert that, channel that energy, but in a positive way.
Right.
So those are just some things that I think about, even in terms of like building, starting there, but then building upon that, and as we talk about some other things that we are trying to create, just to respond to the needs within our community.
Yeah.
With all the violence that is going on, and you guys having programs outside of just the martial arts problem, how is your staff communicating with especially the young people and the teenagers, what's going on in their community?
So we have our group of kids are very, what's the word? They're very similar to how in my situation of me growing up. They're all like, they're kind of like, I don't really be involved. I don't like. I know kids in the street life, but I'm not involved with it. Wow. So they keep it completely separate. We haven't had. Since I've been there, we haven't had any problems of any street beefs or anything like that. It's always been cool, calm, collected. The kids coming in, they're working, and usually when the tough guys come into the gym to check it out, they see what's going down, and they see, other kids their age that are just savages, and they're like, yeah, nah, it's not for me. They get turned off really quick. Right. I don't know what it is. I've seen hardest looking kids come in like, yo, I want to check this out. Like, all right, come on in, man. They'll come in, they're like, nah, I'm good.
It's because they have to take the mask off.
Yeah, because there's a lot of discipline to go in it. And one of the things that always defeats them is you got to take your shoes off. It defeats them before they even get in.
Really?
Yep. They come in.
Taking off your shoes.
Simple as taking your shoes. But yo, you can take your shoes off. And then they're like, all right, they'll take their shoes off. Then you're like, you're gonna want to take your socks off too,
You're sliding on the
because as soon as you start getting sweaty, you get soggy socks. It's not a good look for you. So you should take the socks off too. At that moment is usually when they be like, "Nah, I'm good."
Serious.
Yep.
And why do you think that is?
I have no clue. I don't know why. I think it's because it's a very expulsion thing. It exposes you. You know, your shoes are off, your feet's on. It makes you grounded. You're grounded into this. That means you are dedicated to what's about to go down. And they're like, "Nah, I can't do that." Or if like they come in and they see everybody grappling, doing jiu-jitsu, they're like, "Oh no, I can't do this." They instantly like, no.
Interesting.
Yeah, they just, it's something about it. And which is crazy is that like in the sport of mixed martial arts, there's not like what we need more of is we need more brothers in jiu-jitsu. There's not many. There is some now because it's so popular, but like growing up, like as I was growing up, I'll go to gyms and stuff like that, and it's never, I would be like the only brother in there. And I think that's a thing that needs to happen. That's why another reason why I wanted to be part of this is because like I want to push for like, listen, you guys can get involved in this too, you know?
One of the other reasons, especially for some of the older teens or someone who's had some run-in with the law, it's a prison mentality too, that you don't walk anywhere with without your shoes on, because you need to be ready if something pops off. You know, so like, you get people that will go to the shower, they'll go in there like flip-flops, but they have their shoes, and as soon as they get out of the shower, they put their shoes on. You know, because they got to be, you know, you never know who's going to be around. You got to be ready for just in case things pop off. You can't be fighting in flip-flops, you know?
Yeah, no, that's not a good look. That's not a good look.
So I think that's part of it as well.
Yeah,
and it's a learned thing, because even if the teenager hasn't been in jail, they hear stories from their, you know, whether brother, uncle, father, you know, cousin, whatever, they hear those stories, and I'm like, okay, you know, so.
Interesting.
That's wild. Yeah, I never knew that. But they just, it always defeats people. And it's not even just, it's like a lot of people, they'll come in, they like, as soon as you got to take your shoes off, like, you can wear your socks, but as the workout goes on, you're going to get soggy socks, and it's not going to be cool. It's so funny when you see someone walk, after a while, they're working out, and the ones with socks on always leave wet footprints. You're like, oh my God. It's so gross. But people do it. They're like, no, I'll leave your socks on.
Wow. Yeah. You know, I wonder, yeah, it's a I think it's a vulnerability thing, because I wonder, like, even with people, you see the style, a lot of people who wear flip-flops, right? And they have socks on,
right,
with the flip-flop. Maybe it's like, maybe their the toes nails is not, you know, the feet are pedicure. Like, I'm just saying, you know, like, oh no, you know, my feet, no. So get them right. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Interesting. Go ahead, Eric.
Good.
So yeah, man, this is exciting. I'm really happy that this is actually here. I'm happy that you're here and that we're able to share this resource,
right,
with the community. And I'm hopeful that the 4 to 9. Yeah. I mean, I broadcast you typically Tuesday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And you did say that for the older G's, we could be up until the classes start on, but in the evening post.
So we try to, a little thing that we try to keep on going, because over the summer, we would have people during that time when we're about to close. Stragglers walk in, just, you know, the misfits. They just come in and they're like, oh, you know, just going crazy. And to do a little crowd control, we started to do that, just to protect ourselves, you know. But if we would see, like, say if you were there and you're like, hey, I'm running a little late, blah, blah, blah. Usually people would text or call in advance. And it would just let you in, etc. But we just do that just to, just a little crowd control.
Makes perfect sense. Perfect sense.
So for the females that are listening and watching, what do you have for them? What would you use to draw them in, because they think it's a man's thing?
So yes, so we have a class which right now is we only have it one day a week, and it's Monday at 6, and it's the Fierce Females class. Yeah,
You know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Fierce Female class. If we could get more women in that class, that would be golden. Because I want to. So my goal this year, as the athletic director, is I want to put more female classes.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to at least have it like 3 times a week, and we just need more people for that class to grow.
And that's strictly female with no male
It's straight for
interaction.
nope. There's
However,
a female
if
teacher.
the females wanted to come and join in with the males and stuff like that in the regular classes, can
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. There's females in every class. You're going to see women in every class, but that class specifically, it's a class that I really, really want to grow. It's just better. It's a better vibe for them.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, the girls that's already in there, the women that's already in that class, it's popping. They all synced with each other. They got their little music going. They go to work. Their work ethic is crazy. Like that class is good. So if I could get that 3 times a week, perfect.
And Michaela is in charge of that, right?
Yes, Michaela teaches that class.
And she was
Great
a
instructor.
student trainer, right?
She was a student trainer. Yep.
Okay, so this is a student trainer who is now a trainer.
Exactly.
That's not the young lady who
the one you met at the front desk. Yeah.
Ah.
She also is the queen of the front desk. She runs it with an iron fist.
Oh, really?
Don't play.
Oh, really?
Don't play with that desk.
Well, she was very pleasant.
Yeah.
Positive. In fact, you both were.
Yeah.
A lot of times, when you go into places, then can be sometimes not so welcoming.
Oh, I know. Trust me.
So I didn't get that vibe at all. It was very welcoming, very professional, and exciting.
Yep. Yeah, that is the culture of that gym. It's welcoming and accepting for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care what's your past, where you came from. Don't care. The fact that you're here in this moment, and we're all going to grow together. That's what's important. So that's something that we all believe in, and that is through and through within that gym.
Mm-hmm. So how would one? Is there a website? Is there?
You can go to Level Ground MMA at org is the website, or you can follow us on Instagram. We don't have a Facebook, no, just Instagram. And you'll see everything on it, all our classes, pictures and videos of all our classes. See how packed the classes are, because the classes are insane, and they're just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. When I walk past, it's again, and I've seen that, right?
Yeah.
I've seen, initially I'm like, what is this place, right? And then you were, I saw a small group. Now I'm saying, literally, it's like the room's full.
It's packed. My class last night was 26 people in that class. 26. Yeah.
Wow.
Is Jacobo still with her?
Yeah, go see that. He's the man.
He reminds me of he teaches Muay Thai, but he reminds me of a tree hugger, and like if you would kick a tree, he would be upset. So
he's the man. That's the man. He teaches. I think he teaches tonight. He teaches the Muay Thai class tonight. He's the man. Yeah.
Wow. Now, so and again, wow. We have to do this again because believe it or not, it is already 5:54.
Oh wow!
The time flies by, right?
Yeah.
We literally have 3 minutes before we have to wrap up. So we do have to have you come back. I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I love this.
Yeah. Did you want to say anything?
No. Just take this time. Your camera's right there. Look at our audience, and get them into your space.
All right. Hello, folks. Come to Level Ground MMA. It's at 1490 Dorchester Ave. Kids are free. Adults, sorry, you got to pay, but it's a good fee. It's a great community. Everybody love each other. Everybody willing to help you. If you are uncertain or unsure about the things, everybody will help you to grow. We're all trying to grow together and just be better individuals. You can follow me personally at Emerald MMA on Instagram, and on Facebook you can find me at Mike Rodriguez.
All right.
Peace.
Again, thank you, Mike Rodriguez. Thank you,
you.
Larry Kennedy. Thank you, our listening and viewing audience, as always. And if God say the same, we'll be back on tomorrow from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can tune into Healing Our Lands broadcast Tuesday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 6, Sunday evening, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. God bless you and good night.
Thank you.